Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I am going to be taking you through an empirical analysis of appellate copyright jurisprudence in South Africa. My name is Matome Ledwaba, and I'm doing this project with Mokhusu Mothapo. And the data that we're using is the South African copyright judgments. Let's get straight into it. In terms of the background, we were doing an empirical analysis of appellate copyright jurisprudence in South Africa, which refers to a study that examines the decisions made by the higher courts in South Africa regarding copyright disputes. Our task here was to employ data science techniques to the project and seek to identify patterns in court decisions and explore judgment sentiments and factors that influence those decisions, and provide empirical evidence on the evolving landscape of copyright law at the appellate level. I'll quickly take you through the methodology that we followed. The first step is the data collection. In terms of the data science lifecycle, we had 35 judgments to look at. These were in the form of PDFs. And we also had case level metadata containing the annotated cases by the expert in the field. We started with a data cleaning process where we did some pre-processing. We removed the punctuation, lower casing, remove all special characters as well as stop words, and tokenizing the data. In terms of our model training, we looked at different traditional classifiers as well as transformer models to do the overall sentiment classification. We reserved about 30% of our data set for validation, and the evaluation matrix that we used were a confusion matrix, accuracy, precision recall, and a weighted F1 score. In terms of the exploratory data analysis that we followed, as you can see on the left, I have the original text as it's coming from the PDF. So as you can see with the text, there's a lot of stop words as well as punctuation and a few other things. So when the data was pre-processed, this is what it looks like afterwards. So this on the picture on the right shows us the end result after doing the pre-processing. We didn't stop there. We then looked at after removing the stop words. Remember, our sentiment classifiers can only take a maximum length of a sentence. So we tried out different lengths of sentences. And then here I'm just illustrating when we tested out a maximum 100 words using a transformer summarization model, what the text looks like afterwards, and what happens when we increase that to 200 words. And we actually found that with 100 words, the models don't quite perform the way they should, or the way we expect them to perform. And then when we increase our maximum number of words, we're able to improve the performance, which is one of the main findings that we found, is that the text sentence length actually affects the performance of the classification task for our models. Some more exploratory data analysis revealed that in terms of the overall judgments that we have, our data set was leaning more towards a rejected sentiment for the overall judgments that we looked at. And we realized that this will definitely have an impact in terms of our models performance. And it's just something that we noted from the very beginning. And if you look at the figure below, we also saw that the most common words when we use unigrams, the most common words are act as well as work. And then when we further did bigrams on the corpus, we realized that P2Y LTD and artistic work was also coming up in terms of the overall corpus that we had. And this gave us an indication that most of the work that we're actually looking at is between companies, and also most of the judgments were referring to artistic work. So I guess the judgments were relating to the artistic work relating to different companies. And the last figure on the bottom right also shows us when we use trigrams, we observe that top secret war in United States of America are coming up as the most common words. And this also gives us an indication that most of the judgments are referring to probably companies that were based in America. And the dispute is within artistic work, which is well in alignment with the copyright, I guess, theme around these judgments. What we also did is topic modeling using LSA. And what we saw is that topic modeling revealed that there's about 20 topics that are being discussed here, or the topic modeling revealed there's about 20 topics that we have within our corpus. Which is a fair performance in terms of looking at the overall number of cases that we have. It's about 35 cases, and modeling was able to reveal that there's about 20 topics within which these cases can be allocated to. The results that we got with our models, we firstly looked at distilled-bed transformer model with the worst performance that we got, even with the fine-tuning. It's probably has to do with the small data set that we had in terms of fine-tuning. And we also looked at the support vector machine or classifier, logistic regression, as well as decision tree. And as mentioned, we looked at F1 score, precision and recall. And we also did some cross-validation to at least try and improve with the small data set that we had, improve the performance of our models. And what we saw is that when we use cross-validation in conjunction with summarization with the maximum of 200 words, we're able to achieve or improve the F1 score of our best performer from 75% to about 80%. In terms of the discussion and conclusion, as mentioned, support vector machine achieved the best overall results. Initially, it was the 75%. And once we employed cross-validation as well as summarization, we're able to improve that performance to about 80%. And then what we also realized is that lengthy judgment texts resulted in traditional models to be biased towards negative sentiment. So as a result, that's why we decided on the text summarization, which overall improved the performance. And we've identified that the sentence text length has a big impact on the context, and thus models are able to perform better once you find that optimal text length that's able to give you the best results. Thank you very much.